How does static equilibrium work in the body? First of all, we should, before we go into the question, we should clarify some point that might be very important. First of all, we should know what means equilibrium. Equilibrium means that we do not have force, such as if you have a storm here and there is in the summation of the force here is zero, we have equilibrium. See that for three-dimensional body, just the summation of force is not enough. You should have as well the summation of the momentum equals zero, not to have equilibrium. But for I wonder if your body can be considered as a point, as it's done in most of the cases in the Newtonian picture of reality, just the summation of the force enough for equilibrium. What I mean of static equilibrium? So if you have the words here, static, so it exists dynamic. Indeed, there is two types of equilibrium. One is static equilibrium, which is what I mean of static equilibrium. When this stone is stopped, for instance, if you put here a surface and the stone stays in the surface with the force equals zero, you have a static equilibrium. Dynamic equilibrium is what happens for example, in gas. If a gas stay in a point, it's in equilibrium, but it's not in equilibrium because the particles still vibrating. If you have, for example, a surface with a surface here you have a liquid, and here you have a lot of salt, and here you have just water. So then it begins not to be in equilibrium, because if this membrane is thin enough, so to be able to cross and to go to the side, to have a kind of osmosis process. So, but after a time, this equilibrium will be reached. So it no longer the concentration will change. So you say that it's in equilibrium. But this equilibrium here, they are different. Here is static equilibrium. Here is dynamic equilibrium. The fact that the concentration is not changed doesn't mean that the particles didn't stop moving. They're still moving. So from time to time, the equilibrium is broken. But if you see the overall, the equilibrium is okay. There are several examples of this kind of equilibrium that you can find in both of them. So, what's a body? Bodies is any particle that can be seen as a Newtonian reality, such as here we are not talking about electron, we are not talking about molecules, we are talking about the small world, which is studied by quantum mechanics. Here we are talking about the classical picture of Newton, the day-by-day physics. So my answer is that equilibrium works in a body by shifting the body from high energy states to low energy states. So equilibrium has to do with energy. Energy has to do with force. So equilibrium means that you have a state in which the summation of the force is equal to zero and the energy stop moving from one state to the other. So you can see this question two flavor, the micro and macro. So my answer is for the former, which I'm talking about the macro, as I explained before. We are talking about the Newtonian picture of reality, not the quantum mechanical picture of reality. For the later, as a matter of fact, I cannot see an answer. It just happened. I believe that even quantum mechanics itself is not very sure how it happened. So static equilibrium is by a constant property such as temperature. If you see that a body is in equilibrium, it means that something is constant, such as the temperature, concentration, can be pressure, and so on. For example, you can take a bar of metal, apply high temperature into extreme. It's a very classic experiment which gives rise to the famous heat equation by the current idea about heat. The particle is going to vibrate more in the extreme, then this vibration is going to propagate like an infection. It's called the corpuscular theory of heat. So after a while, all the bar will have the same, more or less same temperature. The same idea can be applied to gas, but use the concept of pressure and so on. So the concept of the how it works? It works by shifting the body from one point to the other. So exactly how the two interpretation will change from case to case. For example, if we are talking about a gas, the equilibrium shift, working by shifting particles from one point to the other. So but we are talking about static equilibrium. So it works the body by shifting the body from one point of high potential to the point of low potential.